Hi guys, today I'm talking about my guides. I'm talking about hallucinogens as well as crystals and how they work. So as I've said in previous videos, I have been aware of my guides for quite a few years, and this was just intuition, right? Following the intuition. If you are the avatar, becoming aware of the gamer through whatever is happening in your life. So another word for this would be your higher self. Remember, the gamer has played this game many times. You as the avatar, you're experiencing this for the first time. So your higher self knows better, right? So also when I was a child, I had a imaginary friend called Alex, and he only disappeared when I was about 16 because everyone got a little weird about it. And now in retrospect, I realized that he was a guide too. So all of these things you can see as archetypal, right? You can see it as the mind's way of making sense of everything. There also is a definite difference between how I see normal reality and how I am aware of my guides. I'm more aware of them in my peripheral vision. So how did I eventually become very aware of them? I took hallucinogens about, what was this, 3.5 years ago. And it was just after a divorce, so I was in a very low place, and I had taken it for me to do shadow work, to see what I did wrong, how I could work on myself, and to heal. And as I took it, these blue and purple beings came in and had like very high energy, like very, like that type of energy. And I was like, dudes, I'm trying to deal with my divorce, I'm trying to do shadow work. You guys are a bit happy-go-lucky. And then it was explained to me, and this is the thing, it's more intuitive, right? It's almost like a download of information. It's not necessarily words, but it was explained to me that they are very high vibrational beings that live outside of time, and that my whole entire life they can see as this beautiful tapestry. And where this one little string goes into the tapestry is the darkest moment in the Quibi experience. And before I came in to reality, I told them, please, you're allowed to come into time on that place because it's going to be the darkest time. And then they explained to me, because you are three-dimensional and we're higher dimensional, you have to lift your frequency. Like, you have to become happy, like really happy and really loving, because we're meeting you halfway. And then, so I was on a farm on Reddersburg, and it was beautiful. And then, I went to the mirror, which is something you never do on psychedelics, but I did. You can also see my eye is a bit red today. I got shampoo in it. But anyway, I went to the mirror, and as I looked into the mirror, I became aware of the fact that it was me 1,000,000 years from now and my friends. It was me, because the one was then in me and the other is like next to me, like looking through my eyes, right? And then I realized they were doing inner child, multidimensional inner child healing, and I was just sort of the recipient of this. And then they told me, I'm not the first Quibi. The Quibi experience is epic. It's the first thing they said. And I was like, no, I can't imagine it's epic. It's horrible right now. I'm so scared. And then they said, no, it's really epic. And it's so epic. You're not the first one that has the Quibi experience. You actually bought tickets to have the Quibi experience. And I was like, what the hell? Who am I if I'm not the first one having the Quibi experience? And they said, well, imagine how cool the first Quibi was, because she did it without our help. And then from that moment on, I was aware of my guides, right? But also it's about tuning in, listening, and tuning out, the internal dialogue and the fears and whatever, because I always know it's them if it resonates with growth, right? They sent me to the places that scare me. So anyway, that would be guides. And then hallucinogens, right? So obviously you don't need hallucinogens to have these types of experiences. You can reach higher states with meditation, and it's actually better if that is what you do. But I wanted to talk about dimethyltryptamine, which is DMT. And DMT is secreted by your brain when you're born as well as when you die, but the body reabsorbs it immediately. And if you take changa or whatever, it's got like reabsorption inhibitors in it, and people who have done that have completely broken out of the matrix. You know, I did it, and I had a complete breakthrough experience, and it's very difficult to come back into 3D, you know, three-dimensional reality after that has happened. It's very difficult, and you have to integrate. So if you're interested in these things, and I'm not saying take it, please, 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 I'm not saying take it, look at the Spirit Molecule. You can find it on YouTube. Then also, if you are somebody that is inclined to take psychedelics, I would say, you know, it's something that you should take very seriously. It's not a party drug. It's something that you should take seriously. You should fast beforehand. And yeah, obviously don't take it in countries where it's illegal, right? And like I said, you don't have to take it, but it's all about integration. So I believe that the plants are here to help us evolve. They've evolved with us through the centuries, but we're getting to a point now where we don't need them. So that's why I'm not saying take it, right? Please, I'm just telling you what my history with this has been. And it's very important to integrate. You can't just take mushrooms and then woohoo, party, because you need to integrate the shadow. You need to integrate everything that came up. I know that within ayahuasca journeys, this is something I haven't done myself. When you see a monster, you have to get to know the monster, right? And then love the monster, because that's an aspect within you. So hallucinogens and dreams are very similar, and that's why Terence McKenna, look him up, he's great, also loved Jung as much, and tried to combine dream analysis as well as what do you call it, psychotropic, psychedelic experiences, right? But it's not for the faint of heart, and like I said, you can do it without any of these substances. And then what was the last thing? Crystals. Okay, so crystals seem very like woo-woo, and why do you like crystals? And you're very hippie, why would you like crystals? So I just want to explain crystals scientifically. Basically, okay, so our bodies every 7 years have completely changed themselves, right? There's nothing within your body within 7 years that has not been recycled. Your skin, I think, takes 3 days, and the rest of your body, 2 months, 5 months, whatever, and then your DNA 7 years. So in 7 years' time, nothing within you is actually going to be in you that was there. But a crystal is constant. So a crystal will be the same 100,000 years from now as what it is, as what it is today, right? And because color is frequency, internal structure, the internal structure of a crystal is so constant, it is its structure that creates its color. And as we know, color is everything but the color, right? So it vibrates at the frequency that lets everything except that color in. So green is everything except green. But anyway, the internal structure of crystals are so solid that their resonance is solid. And I don't know if you've ever heard of sympathetic resonance, but sympathetic resonance is if I cling on a glass and I get the note of the glass and then I sing that note, I can break the glass. Also, if I take a tuning fork, middle C, and I put it on a piano, then the same string on the piano will start to resonate in sympathetic resonance. This is also why when they build big bridges, they have to be careful with the cables running down so that water droplets don't run down and start to create basically a rhythm, because the whole bridge can completely be obliterated by sympathetic resonance. So because sympathetic resonance exists, they put quartz, there we go, just quartz, in quartz watches. Why? Because if the watch starts to go out, the boop, 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 boop of the quartz watch will just pull it back in. My nose is itching, and my eyes are itching, I'm allergic. So this is how quartz watches work. And our chakra systems work on frequency as well, and that's why they have color as well. And that's why if you put a crystal on a specific chakra via sympathetic resonance, it will pull it back into a alignment. Okay, so that's how crystals work in a nutshell. As I said, please don't just take psychedelics. It can make you loop-de-loop. It's not something that you have to do. I just wanted to give you some information about it. I think we all know about Hoffman, but that's synthetic, right? So if you're interested in mushrooms, look at Paul Stamets. He's absolutely amazing. And then if you're interested in DMT, look at the Spirit Molecule on YouTube. Dr. Robert Strassman, very great. And then what was the first thing I spoke about? Guides, right? So we are in a multidimensional reality and we are being helped. We are being helped. So just tune into it. Have a lovely day, guys. Bye.